You know, I've been wanting to do this video for a couple of weeks, man, but I didn't want to come across it negatively. I have a big problem with all the victory laps I'm seeing on social media by black people. They taking victory laps for delineation. They taking victory laps for pushing back on the tethers. They taking victory laps for things like us sitting out during the immigration raids, right? During the ICE raids and stuff. We're not out there protesting for the ICE raids. We're not out there protesting at the No Kings events. You know what I'm saying? We taking victory laps for all of this stuff, but the problem is the same kind of black Americans who are out front making the most noise with the biggest YouTube platforms and social media platforms, who are taking the victory laps. They are the ones that got us in this situation to begin with. They are the ones that put us in this place. You know what I'm saying? The truth is, immigration has never been a priority to black Americans. It has always been a Democrat initiative, but black Americans per se never cared about immigrants. Immigration has never been a priority, but yet you still have these people online with these huge YouTube platforms, these huge social media platforms, taking victory laps as if they are the reason why black Americans are not out there protesting against ICE. And they got nothing to do with it. It's disingenuous. It's the same thing that you've seen happen with the last election cycle. Now, I'm a black man that has never invested in this system. I've never participated in this system. My participation is only as far as I need to participate. Like, I need a job, I need income, I need to make money. That's my participation in the system. Outside of that, I do not participate in the system. And for years, for decades even, I've been dragged by black Americans for not participating. I've always heard that you can't make changes if you stay on the outside, right? If you don't participate, you can't change. You're gonna change things from within, and all kinds of crazy stuff to try to justify why they vote. And I don't vote. But this last election cycle saw an uptick in the number of black Americans who decided not to vote. And you got people like Phil from the African Diaspora Channel and his whole crew over there taking victory laps as if they are the reason why black Americans are not voting, or less black Americans turn out to vote. They're not the reason. Y'all ain't got nothing to do with this, because y'all are the kinds of people who have traditionally voted. But the truth is, I've never voted because I've never seen a reason to. In reality, the system does not work for us. In fact, the system does not work for anybody but the elite. The system does not work for anybody but those at the top. And the more we participate in the system, all we do is validate it, particularly black Americans. Our participation is validation. So when we withhold participation, we actually take away validation of the system. But my point to this video about the victory lap is that these people are not the reason why we are delineating. We are delineating because we never consider ourselves to be Africans or anybody else to begin with. The truth is, this identity that they are claiming to delineate from is the same identity that they still hold. They are suffering from some type of cognitive dissonance, because all of these people, the ADOs, the FBA, you know what I'm saying, all of them. Now, I'm not sure about Solon. Solon seems to have a different kind of history, a different kind of past, you know what I'm saying. I'm not sure about Solon. But all of these people seem to still consider themselves to be descendants of African slaves. So you're not really delineating, you know what I'm saying? What you're trying to do is you're trying to make a distinction that really has no difference. I've never, went to bat for immigrants, you know what I'm saying? Not privately or publicly, you know what I'm saying? We can't have people coming into a country where everything has limited resources, you know what I'm saying? The jobs are limited, the economic structure is limited, you know what I'm saying? This stuff is not infinite, it's finite. We just can't be constantly bringing more and more and more people over here, diluting our economic pool. To me, it was never fair for other people to come here and get jobs. We starved to death. We got to constantly be innovative and find new ways to make money and find new hustles and everything. And every time we find a hustle, the white folks find a way to basically get in front of us, either find a way to tax us into oblivion, or come up with new fees and operating fees. They find some way to mess us up, or they just outlaw the activity altogether, you know what I'm saying? And I've seen this in my own life as an entrepreneur, So we don't need these people taking victory laps. We don't need nobody with Africa or diaspora or anything like that in their channel name taking victory laps for anything, because they are not the reason why we're doing it. All of these black women on social media around here talk about we not going out there and go to bat for immigrants. Them black women are going to be lined up come next election cycle to vote for Democrats again. What? Especially if Kamala run again, which I don't think Kamala gonna run again though. But especially if they could find a woman to run and a black woman at that to run, those black women are gonna be lined up once again to go vote for whatever Democrat person that is nominated. You know what I'm saying? They're not done. They're not done, and this is all just theater. You know what I'm saying? This is all just posturing. You know what I'm saying? They pretending like they laying back, but the truth is they never cared about immigrants. They only cared about themselves. Black women voted Democrat because they was trying to line up with white feminists, with the white power structure, you know, and that's all they cared about. All they cared about was them being elevated just slightly above black American men. That's all they cared about. And as long as they got that little tidbit, they was going to keep voting for them people and forget all about all of the collateral damage they caused, you know, shoving homosexuality down the throats of our elementary age school children. You know what I'm saying? There's no way we should be having homo books in the elementary school libraries, bro. This is crazy, man. Crazy. We didn't have any type of love books in our elementary school library, whether it's heterosexual or homosexual. We didn't have that kind of stuff because it's inappropriate. But we got them books in schools now for kids. You know, we got all this stuff about trans people, you know, men, biological males playing in sports against biological females. Black women validate all of this stuff because they don't care about it. And when you think about all the black women that got online crying after Kamala Harris lost, crying real tears online. So do understand that black women are not really setting out and resting and all the other stuff they claim to be doing. They lying, bro. They lying. They licking their wounds. They are disappointed. You know, they really wanted Kamala Harris to win, although Kamala Harris is not FBA by any means. She's not FBA or IBA. You know what I'm saying? She is not one of us, no more than Obama was one of us. Kamala Harris has no connection to so-called foundational black Americans. She has no connection to us. But black American women didn't care about that. They wanted that representation. They wanted to have a black woman win that presidency so they can look at black men and say, nah, look, we got one too. You know, that's all that was about. It was about representation, even if the representation was not really representation. You know what I'm saying? That's all black American women care about. They don't care about the collateral damage. And I'm telling y'all, they're going to be right back out the next election cycle voting. They don't care about any of the damage, how unfair family court systems are to men. You know, they don't care about that. And some of them black women got sons. They don't care about that. They don't care that their son got to grow up in this system that they are helping to create that's extremely unfair to him as a black man. They don't care that the rhetoric that they put out, black men ain't this, black men ain't that, and they're sitting there and bash us all day. They don't care that that's going to affect their son in the future. They don't care. All they care about is them having a leg up over black American men. That's all they care about. They was glad to social distance. They was glad to go get these jabs. They was glad to do anything Biden wanted us to do. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't care about the collateral damage that is caused by Democrat policies and laws. They don't care. So don't let them sit there and do a victory lap now online, patting themselves on the back. Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? We taking a break. They mad because black Americans are taking a break. Y'all not taking a break. Y'all never cared about immigrants. You never cared about immigrants. But the problem is you should have cared because the immigrants have always been a problem for us. They've been a problem for us since they started flooding into America. And quite frankly, I'm glad Trump getting rid of them. What? You know what I'm saying? I'm glad. I ain't mad at all, bro. You know? Now, as far as this other stuff with delineation and stuff like that, it's the same thing. You got too many black Americans around here acting like they're so prideful of being black now. Now they're so prideful. Ooh, man, black. But the truth is, we still hate each other. We still can't get along to save our lives. Y'all still won't respect the fact that a lot of us are doing our research, our genealogy, and discovering that we are actually indigenous Americans. Y'all don't even want to respect that. That's not the white folks that don't want to respect that. It's black Americans, that it's FBAs, it's ADOs who don't want to respect the fact that we are indigenous. They want to force all black Americans to be descendants of slaves from Africa. And that's, to me, that's psychopathic, man. To me, that reeks of something wrong with you. That this is the only identity you want to allow for yourself. You don't even want to look into it to make sure that it applies. You don't even want to, investigate because there's a chance that you might actually be indigenous. You don't want to be indigenous. You want to be a slave. All of this stuff is just a form of patriotism. You know what I'm saying? This is a patriotic American Pan-African type of deal, right? That's all it is. Papa. Patriotic American Pan-Africans. That's all it is. Most of the stuff that these people are doing, they're doing it because they feel it's on the right side of the government. Not going out there and getting in the way of ICE is on the right side of the government. They're not doing it because they really just stand out of it. No, they're doing it because they think that they're showing support for America. They think that they're being patriotic. You know what I'm saying? They're hoping that white folks would notice that we are not out there protesting no kings and protesting ICE. You know what I'm saying? That we're just laying back and white folks will treat us differently. But they're not going to treat us differently. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are not out there because that's not issues y'all really care about. And I'm not mad at you for not caring about it. You know what I'm saying? But y'all not out there because these are not issues y'all care about. You know? These are not issues that you can get that you can get in front of and take over and profit off of and control. Black people ain't gonna be able to control these movements, you know what I'm saying? Like black women did with the Black Lives Matter movement, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be able to get in front of this stuff, control it, and go buy your mansion, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna happen. So there's no grift to be made, and it's nothing that you can lead. It's nothing that you can take control of, and it really has no direct benefit to you. That's why y'all not out there. Again, I'm not mad that you're not out there because you don't see no direct benefit. That's smart to me. But I'm just being clear as to why you're really not out there. This has never been about immigrants. It's all this no king stuff. Y'all not out there because y'all don't want to protest against Trump. You know, too many black Americans are now feeling very patriotic because, we can't be deported. Y'all got the songs going. You know what I'm saying? The Sexy Solange song. Y'all got the other song, the FBA anthem. You know what I'm saying? Y'all feeling real patriotic right now. You know what I'm saying? But y'all forget that we still niggas in America to them people. And I say that in the negative connotation. You know what I'm saying? I know what the word actually means. It's not a negative word, but I mean that in a negative connotation. These people are not going to see us differently, not going to deal with us differently. So all this stuff we're doing it for nothing because we're trying to score brownie points. That's what makes me mad. What I see is a bunch of black Americans trying to score brownie points with these white folks, and there are no brownie points to be gained. If you was really going against this system, you would make sure that slave label applied to you. You would see if you were indigenous, and you would claim that indigenous. Even if you found out that you are a descendant of slave, you will support the indigenous black Americans because you claiming to be a foundational black American. You claiming to also have been here before the inception of this so-called country along with the indigenous black Americans. So you should support your indigenous brothers, but y'all won't do that because supporting the indigenous is actually the true form of revolution. It's actually the truest form of poking your middle finger up to this system. And y'all not going to do that. Y'all trying to find ways to be slick side patriotic, you know what I'm saying, and support this establishment while pretending like you're just tired and you're arrested. That's not what you're doing. That's not what you're doing, because if that's what you're doing, you wouldn't be talking about DEI still. You know what I'm saying? You're still talking about DEI because this is what you care about. Talking about the black women. Black men, y'all basically turn conservative because of the black women. So y'all over there voting for a bunch of Nazis because this is, y'all think that that's going to make y'all look good. Y'all sit around here, y'all repeat all these conservative talking points as if any of this stuff applies to you. I have no problem with you agreeing with some of the stuff they say, man, but this stuff is not for us. This stuff is not for us. You can repeat it all you want. You know what I'm saying? You can go against the liberal side all you want. The liberal side is horrible. I get that. You can go against it all you want, but man, none of this stuff is for us. You're not going to ever score no brownie points with these people, bro, unless you turn like Officer Tatum or somebody, the Hodge twins, you know what I'm saying, just become a straight coon You know what I'm saying? Other than that, man, you ain't getting nothing out of this stuff, bro. My whole point to this is that we can't let these people take victory laps. Anybody with African, Afro, or diaspora in their channel name, don't let them take victory laps for nothing that's going on with Black Americans, because they are not the reason why we're doing any of it. They're not the reason why we're delineating. They're not the reason why we're not protesting No Kings or protesting ICE. They're not the reason for any of this stuff. Don't let them get out front and take credit for anything, man, because they are not the reasons. Black Americans are doing what they're doing because some of them are actually waking up and understanding that this stuff is futile. This stuff is pointless. Participating in this system is a waste of time and energy, right? And mind power and brain space and everything else. That's what some Black Americans are realizing. But the truth is, the majority of Black American women, they just biding their time. The majority of Black American men who vote, you know what I'm saying, most of them vote Democrat because they support Black American women. But you got a small percentage that vote Republican. You know, right now they think they've won. They think they're winning, but they don't understand we are all losing. We lose no matter who's in office. We're all losing. We push back against them devils so you can turn all our children gay.
What?
We push back against those devils so you can have somebody else come and force a vaccine on us again.
What?
Because trust me, if Democrats get in office, we're going to have another pandemic. We're going to have another pandemic. And these people are really trying to use pandemics as the justification to put us under martial law. They're trying to use that to justify stripping away your freedom. And Black American women validated this stuff. You had nobody in the Black caucus that pushed back on anything Biden was doing. Not one representative, not one Black politician that wasn't a Republican pushed back against Biden. Not one. Not one. None of them say, hold on, but we got other doctors that's saying that you're doing this wrong, that you're going about this wrong. We got other reports here. We got other expert opinions here. None of that, bro. Because they don't care. All they care about is taking a side, and that's something that we can't afford to do as Black people. We can't take a side in this stuff. We lose no matter which side wins. Y'all don't understand that. We are not winning. You know, but the point is, bro, we got to do better, you know what I'm saying, as a people. But Black women think that they are winning. As long as they get that little leg up over us, they don't care about the collateral damage. The Black conservative men, you know, as long as they feel like they're getting a leg up over Black women, they don't care about the collateral damage. You know what I'm saying? The simps who vote Democrat with the Black women, you know what I'm saying? They don't care about the collateral damage. Or the self-hating Blacks that vote conservative because they hate being Black, they hate Black people. The Officer Tatums, the Hodge twins, the Anton Daniels, them kind, you know what I'm saying? They don't care about the collateral damage. You know, the angry man types, you know what I'm saying? They just go out there and vote and not care about, you know, the collateral damage. But we are losing no matter who is winning. This is a spiritual war between two evils. We got no business taking a side in any of it. Now, see, that's how I talk. That's why I don't participate. See, my non-participation got nothing to do with who's in office right now. It's about the system in general. My non-participation in protesting ICE got nothing to do with anything going on right now. It's the system in general. You know, the No Kings thing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is scary, but hey, we should have been talking about No Kings when Biden had everything locked down. We wasn't talking about No Kings then. So don't talk about No Kings with Trump. Because Biden sure act like a dictator when he was in office. So Trump is just acting like a dictator also. See, we are starting to normalize a dictatorship type mentality in America. We're normalizing it. Now we've had a Republican and a Democrat that act like they owned everybody. And as long as Black Americans support this stuff, we validate it. See, that's what you understand. Black Americans are the only population, the only demographic here that validate things. That's why they're looking for us at the No Kings rally. That's why they're looking for us at the ICE rallies, because our participation validates it. You know what I'm saying? Because we the only people that have no reason to support nothing they do. So when we get out there and we support something, we take a side, that's validating that position. By us not being out there, we not validating anything right now. But we're going to get back in line, come 2028. We're going to start validating it again. The same small percentage of black American men, mainly, who vote Republican, the same little 10, 12%, they're going to be making videos talking about how all the black men going to vote Republican, the Republican black vote going to increase. They're going to be talking the same stuff they've been talking for the last 6 election cycles that hasn't been true. You know what I'm saying? The Democrats, led by the black women, gonna be out there. Oh, black men, you must hate your mama. You need to come vote for the Democrats. We got to push back on this. It's gonna be the same rhetoric, and we're gonna be once again validating the evils of this system. That's why we cannot let these same people take victory laps. They are not leading us nowhere but off the cliff. We got to push back on them, just like we got to push back on the rest of society. Stop validating the two evils of this system. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Till next time, I'm Brother Kush, aka Blackout.